drum machines in a sense. So come to today everybody's sampling so much. As a matter of fact, a guy was in my site and he was trying to get all the samples, right? So we have about 95,000 samples. And so once you become a member, those samples are free. And of course, you can go in and download the samples. Any ones you want to download, he's trying to download them all. And I realized that a lot of guys out there are downloading tons of drum sounds and snare sounds and all the sounds we got, anything you got, stick sounds. I mean, all this horns blasting kind of stuff, a little record here, this stuff here. And those are tons of samples. You cannot listen to 90,000 samples in 1 year. It's impossible. Unless you don't work and you're home every day and you don't have a girlfriend or kids or have to go to work. So it's kind of nuts to take that many samples in. And I know you hear the big producers out there, they're doing stuff and you want to be big or you're hoping someone's going to like your music. And I get that. But you got to realize that music isn't that. It isn't the samples you have. It isn't the software you have. Oh, he's got FL Studio. Oh, he's got MPC. No, I got Machine, bro. No, I'm Logic. No, I got Logic right over here. You know, I got Studio One. There's so many different softwares. And that doesn't matter. What matters is your ability to listen and create something. You must be able to listen to what you're making like you're sitting in front of yourself hearing it. You must be able to listen to something on the radio and recreate it. That's right, a drum beat. You should be able to hear any drum beat and recreate that drum beat. If you're starting out, you must do that. You can't sit around making beats up. You must learn how the beat is made. Now, you've probably heard some really great producers out there. Like, I got a track, here's something here I want you to hear right now. These are 4 different pieces of 4 different songs, and, well, just hear it. Now, I know you probably know who that is. But, you know, when you hear it, are you listening? Do you realize that most of those bass drums are all the same? They were EQ'd differently in the one that was more like a pop dance track. The distance between the snare and the bass drum in terms of velocity and sound, the snare drums are always popping in there like that. The producer has his own sound. If you ever hear a sound, or you hear a producer like, let's say, Timbaland, or Primo, or Dr. Dre, those guys got their own sounds. And the reason why you hear them like that, because they do not use 90,000 sounds. They use maybe, look at this, they only use 5 different kick drums. They may use 6 different snare drums. They're not going to deviate from that. Those are signature sounds. Those sounds create signatures to your sound. The hi-hats as well. You're not going to change from one hi-hat to the next. If you hear an album, the album will be the same from the beginning to the end. It will be this one nice long album, and when we make albums, we don't make it in perspective to hear it that way. It doesn't work that way, because what we happen to do in the studio and what the label wants us to do is to make sure that you go from one song, next song, next song, doesn't go away. How about the first time you heard James Brown? What did you think about it? I mean, you have never heard anybody since then or before then because they had their own sound. How many times have guys sampled the drums of Jabbo Larkins, the guy that plays drums for James Brown? How about the first time you heard Funkadelic and you heard Flashlight and you hear that mood going? Who the hell does that? Nobody. The purpose here of this is to tell you must take your samples, but keep them down to a few samples. You must create a sound. And what you heard there was a sound. Now you go all these softwares, there's plenty of samples in there, and I see you guys always saying, I did 7 tracks a day. Oh, I did 9 beats. I did 40 beats this week. And I don't get that. What's the big deal with that? I don't even see why you put stuff online if it's not hot. And if it is, why do you bother doing it? You need to take your time and do one song. Take one thing and make a groove. I'm going to play this back. You heard that? That's a groove right there. There's no piano, there's no drums. I mean, there's drums, but there's no piano, there's no guitar. There's just this guy and a little bass part that comes in every now and then. That drum beat is a groove. You must establish that groove. You got to play something and make up something that sounds like that's you. No one should sound like you because you're an individual. So don't think you need to copy someone to be somebody else. You don't got to wear the same shoes as somebody else, that kind of stuff. Or how I got to have a car. This guy, I got to look at somebody. I got to have the same hoodie. What the hell are you talking about? You got to wear Timberland boots to everybody else. Look, man, you got to be yourself. At some point in time, when you get 80 years old, you'll be like, damn, what am I doing with this girl? What am I doing in this house? I didn't do what I was trying to do. You got to do what you're going to do because you are you. And it's important to put that in the music. Here's what I want you to do. If you make up something real dope and you play it back, don't play it back for your friends. Get that guy who doesn't like you. There's always someone in town who doesn't like you, hates you, says stuff about you behind your back. That's the guy. In some situation, he'll be around one day. You've been going over it, it sounds dope, and see if you tap his feet. They'll say, what's that? Who's that? And you're going to know that that's a good track. It's important for you to take your time. Don't show anybody. Don't tell anybody. It's just music. But make good music, please. So look, that's the story today. I wanted to say that because you don't need to have a lot of samples. You need to have some love about what you do in the music and also create that groove. Peace.